What am I, a shill for Walmart this week? Apparently so. Teen Titans, 100-page comic giant number 6. So the story's in here. Let's flip open the first cover, or the front cover here. New Teen Titans story. Teen Titans vs. Justice League. I don't know what year they came from. It's Teen Titans number 6 from 2003, I guess, looking at this. Super Son 6, that's like from just last year. And then Sideways is current ongoing, although I think, didn't they cancel Sideways? I think I read something about that. The news story here by, it's written by Dan Jurgens, right? Thought it was. Anyway, it's, yeah, Dan Jurgens. Oh, called it. It's a fun little action story. I don't really know what's going on, but boy, there's lots of great action. I can't fault it. It's pretty to look at. It's colorful. There's great action. The fight sequences are just fun. Where's the one with the big dude? Yeah, like this. Look at this, man. Sold. Good story. The next story, the Teen Titans get into a fight with the Justice League, is pretty good. Ooh. Check it out. Justice League, you know, is going to school them. Teen Titans can't quite control their powers, you know, the way the Justice League can, because they're teenagers, they're kids. The fight escalates and it escalates, and finally, Nightwing shows up and he's like, "What are you idiots doing?" The end. Alright. They talk it out. They talk it out. The Super Sons story, a lot of people liked Super Sons. I never really got into it. It's alright. I just kind of skimmed over it. There's some fun stuff in this, like this panel right here. My mom washed my costume, but put it in with my PJs, so I had to... Let's talk. You're a soldier and you're on duty. This is a uniform, not a costume. Jeez, Damien. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. This series was, of course, canceled because it was good. And to make way for Bendis, because Bendis is coming. And then Bendis came, and he ruined Superman. Then there's this Sideways story. This is from, like, 8 months ago, I think. This is, like, the issue, or the issue... This is, like, either the issue right after I stopped buying it, because the artist is a jerk, or, the issue right after that. Because I stopped at issue 3, and I think this is, like, 4 or 5. Because this is before the 7 Soldiers of Victory stuff that made Sideways and nobody in his own book. Sideways is pretty good. Of course, out of the New Age of Heroes, you know, I'm big on Silencer. Love that. But oh man, look at this. Does that look cool? That looks cool. Totally looks cool. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this. Teen Titans are not characters I am super, like, into. I'm familiar with them. I know they're crazy travails over the years. But mostly I just know them because they're sidekicks of more famous people. That's a terrible thing to say, right? But it is totally true. Yeah. This was... in my opinion, it's 2 pretty good stories. The new one and the Teen Titan one. One story that a lot of people liked but didn't do much for me. And then Sideways, which is pretty cool but kind of doomed. Also, I got out of Sideways almost as quick as I got into it. I think Sideways sold like 12,000 last month. It's pitiful. Because it really is pretty quality as stories go. I love the mix of... You have this really good old feature, the Teen Titan JLA story. You've got the new feature. You've got reprints of some pretty good stuff. If you're somebody who didn't buy the originals, like I don't have that issue of Sideways, I don't have that issue of Super Sons, I sure don't have that issue of Teen Titans from 15 years ago. So this book was all new material for me. All new. I got 4 stories I'd never read before. For $5. That's a pretty good deal. And the art in all of them is pretty good. I think the story with the weakest art is probably Sideways out of the whole bunch. Super Sons has this really great art style that is fluid and loose and dynamic. And it's a feast for the eyes. It is absolutely a feast. So even though the story didn't do a lot for me, I liked looking at it, man. There's not a page in here I didn't enjoy on some level. And for 100 pages, well, I guess there's like 20 pages of ads in here, but for like 100 pages of material, and I wasn't talking about the ads, and I was like, there's not a page I didn't enjoy. Although some of the ads I did like looking at. But for a book this big, it's really, really hard to have that many pages that I don't have a problem with. I'm not super picky like some people when it comes to comic art, but man, when I see bad art, it's just like, I'm out. I'm out. Even if the writing's pretty good. Yeah, if the writing's great, maybe you can get away with bad art. But if the writing's only pretty good, you probably can't. But here, this is all good stuff. $5. It is this thick. For comparison purposes, let me just grab a comic book. Oh, wait, here's a loose comic book. Granted, this is a slightly different form factor than regular comic books. It's a little bit bigger. I actually need a Silver Age bag for it, but the thickness is about right. Walmart 100-page giant, regular comic book. In fact, this is probably a little thicker than a regular comic book. Yeah. This is some good value. $5 for this thing, or here's a book that's in a bag, $3.99 for 20 pages. I know, it's only cheap because it's reprints, but that's not a bad thing. That's not a bad thing if you haven't read it before. I'll see you next time. You have a great day. Remember to like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Until then, bye-bye.